Yeah, how's it going? Today is 23rd of January, Thursday, and we're gonna be taking a look at some of the developments on all government's press releases and what's going on. Kind of, there might be some opportunities, but very unlikely. We might be taking a look at some of the developments, very important developments when it comes to demining. But so that will be most likely a chart, I guess, if anything. Let's begin by importance. So let's start with most important and work our way to other developments, right? Starting with Stargate. Let's try to understand what Stargate is all about. What is new United States administration plan when it comes to investment and potentially some of the companies looking to invest $500 billion in AI projects, and some of those initiatives can be called Stargate, but we'll see. We'll see. AI, a giant joint forces for a massive project aimed to at growing technology in the United States. Potentially, that would be U.S. President or new administration announced a private sector investment to fund infrastructure for artificial intelligence with the goal of outpacing rival nations in the business critical technology. Okay, so we might be taking a look at that competition potentially. Calling the largest AI infrastructure projects in history by far. New administration said the joint venture called Stargate will build data centers and will create more than 100,000 jobs in the United States, right? These companies also, with other equity-backed Stargate, have committed billions of dollars for immediate investment, with the remaining investment expected to be occurred over the next 4 years. So potentially administration and know how long that administration will last 4 years, right? Here's what you need to know about the new U.S. administration called resounding declaration of confidence in American potential. Okay. So they do not make this disclaimer, right? There might be some company names and or businesses and or money. Since we're covering some of these topics, do not make your decisions based on any information that you would have in this video, right? What to do with your time and or money or other resources, right? Once that has been said, then we can continue. It's a joint venture between OpenAI, Oracle, SoftBank, and MGX that plans to invest up to $500 billion over the next 4 years to build up new data centers needed for the development of AI projects in the United States. The first injection of $100 billion will start immediately. According to OpenAI statement, okay, there might be other companies who have published some of the statements, right? Some of the companies that we're going to be taking a look at that potentially would be looking to artificial intelligence, that would be OpenAI's U.S. Artificial Intelligence Research Organization, right? We have, or perhaps some of the people haven't heard about this company. There are some people. There are some people who haven't heard about this company. There was one girl in Brazil, but anyway. Oracle is one of the US biggest data centers operators. Okay. Next company that will is SoftBank, is Japanese multinational investment holding company that is best known for investing in technology-focused companies and startups, as well as MGX is United Arab Emirates-based investment firm focused on AI and advanced technology. Where the money is going, AI infrastructure requires significant amount of infrastructure and power in order to train, solve many problems at once, and store and process large data. AI systems need powerful computers and all power intensive devices. Okay. We haven't covered it, but we have barely scraped the surface of what will be required. But anyway, for this, there would need to be facilities with thousands of computer chips, hardware, and all software. This build out is currently underway. The campus and all being evaluated across US, starting from Texas and all OpenAI statements. Okay. We don't know, so we're speculating at this point, right? Anyway, Should we continue? Would that be important? I believe we have covered and we already captured everything. I haven't read it, but most likely we're gonna be progressing or jumping into speculation, right? So let's stop here and let's take a look at other developments, right? Let's touch on UK and some of the developments. That will be the article that we published today. That will be legal challenges to UK infrastructure projects to be blocked in the push for growth, right? Since we were taking a look at AI infrastructure, there might be importance of taking a look at some of the developments on hard infrastructure, right, as well, potentially. Current UK's administration hopes it plans to take the breaks off Britain will send a message to the business to build more. Okay. Campaigners will. By the way, I haven't read any of this information, and we're not leaning, we're not supporting any of the administration, so we're just looking to understand it, right? Will be blocked from excessive legal challenges of planning decisions from major infrastructure projects, including airports, railways, and all nuclear power stations, as a part of government's drive for economic growth. High Court judges will be given the power to rule that judicial review of the nationally significant projects that they regard totally without merit and with can currently be brought to the courts 3 times will be unable to go to approval. Okay. Okay. So everyone know a lot of governments currently most likely taking a look at infrastructure projects and how to build those infrastructures up. And we are currently discussing, and just to summarize what we have covered, right? What would be process or bureaucracy, quote unquote, right? And what might be bottlenecks. And bottlenecks would mean in the process that would slow things down. In particularly, if we take a look at massive infrastructure, sometimes could take 10 years, and there might be a lot of reasons why it would take 10 years, and a lot of reviews and documents would need to be filled in, all these kind of things, right? Current UK's administration said that change will take the brakes off Britain by reforming the planning system, sending a message to business to build more national infrastructure, and all ministers desperately pursue opportunities to improve the economy. I would not necessarily desperate, perhaps that's a harsh way to describe it, but that should be of importance for many governments. Looking how infrastructure could be improved, right? I believe we capture everything. Let's progress. Let's take a look at next article, right? In addition to infrastructure, we can touch briefly on housing. That would be, I haven't read this article. Most likely, we're going to be taking a look at housing issues, right? That would be nuclear plants, trail lines, and all. Wind farms will be built quicker thanks to changes to the rules of stop blockade getting the way of government's plan for change. Okay. I thought we were going to be taking a look at housing, but anyway, major infrastructure need for growth, clean energy to be no longer held up in courts as the government scraps excessive free attempts to challenge decisions by the courts. Okay, well, I believe we have covered that already, but that will be some of the news articles rephrasing it. Now we're taking a look at the official government's press releases, right? Which is great. Same subject, right? And perhaps and there might be some data, but anyway, let's progress. Let's take a look at other developments. Let's take a look at next press release. That would be councillors call for watchdogs bosses to tear down the regulatory barriers that hold back growth. That might be businesses. I'll try to. I haven't read this article. If there would be any businesses' names or individuals' names, I'll try to skip those. Right. The CEOs of the regulators were urgent to tear down regulatory barriers that hold back economic growth at the summit in Treasury today, 16th of January. So it happened some time ago, but this article was published yesterday. Councillors pledged to work with regulators to develop ambitious reforms. Today, 16th of January summit marks the first in a series of meetings with the regulators ahead of publishing action plan. There might be a name welcoming initial ideas from regulators to boost innovation and investment, pushes for more ambitious. Okay. I don't know. It's so much contradicting information. So much contradicting information. Perhaps we can briefly touch on what I mean by contradicting. So there are businesses who are looking to expand, but when it comes to expansion plans, so many of those expansion plans may or may not be blocked. Right? I have seen this press release. We can touch on it. That might give more context, or most likely that a lot of government administrations are taking a look at, right? They're asking for people to, I know, business leaders to be more ambitious, but that would be a lot of risk involved. Anyway, let's take a look at the hard infrastructure projects started by airport, and if some of the business leaders be considering, looking at how to expand some of the current infrastructure, right, and what they would be met with. What expansions of Heathrow, Gatwick, and Luton means for passengers. Okay, so in this case, we're gonna be taking a look at from passengers' perspective, right? Not necessarily from governments and how many documents and more developments would need to be prepared, but from passengers' perspective, that would be environmentalists are appealed at the prospect of high emissions, noise, and congestions. Here we go. So if there's gonna be more activity, more jobs, right, and more opportunities for people and more employment and perhaps all these kind of things, right? What some of those developments will be met with: higher emissions, noise, and congestion. Okay, yeah, here you go. So that's a good start. I have read this article briefly. We will touch on it, but this is government looking to encourage more business leaders, but this is a pushback and push and pull, and guess where things are, right? I haven't read this article. We would be spending perhaps 30 seconds on this article and we're going to be progressing, right? The government is poised to give go ahead to extra runway in the UK business airport or busiest airport. Heathrow and Gatwick. Okay, there's a name of let's progress without names. It's expected to back expansion at the two biggest London airports as well as increasing capacity in Luton, but such moves will cost conservatives with the residents, environmentalists, and or labor politicians. I have read this article. Why? I don't understand why we need to get political. That has nothing to do with politics, I believe. But anyway, to put things in the context, how significant is this? Very London is the world capital of aviation. Okay. With the far more flights and more passengers than any other city in the world. I don't know. If this is what they're saying, they must be. But then has been achieved with airport runways that are barely changed since the Second World War. Heathrow is the biggest two runway airports in the world, and Gatwick just around the M25 and down a bit in the world's biggest single runway airport. Okay. We're doing promo. I don't understand it. We're not looking at the hard data. So where are facts? Where are the figures? Where are passenger numbers? So that's what we're looking. This article, the way how this article is written, also we're looking for hard data. So how many passengers would that be? 20,000, 80,000. So that's it. Other than that, this article and whoever written this article wasting everyone's time. I thought it might be important, but just to put things into perspective, we don't have time to waste on such information and the way how this information is being presented about opinion. So if this person is sharing opinion that this airport is biggest, let's take a look at hard data. So how are we gonna measure it in meters, in kilometers? How big is the airport? Then we can back up some of the statements. Otherwise, we're wasting our time to continue reading this article. Just to continue with some of the government's press releases, if we're going to be taking a look at infrastructure, I know IT, I know AI, and yesterday we were taking a look at the numbers currently declining. Let's try to understand some of the initiatives and what government is doing, perhaps when it comes to sourcing some of the professionals, right? That would be British Embassy in Prague is starting second year of the ambassador. Okay, there's a name of a youth advisory program to engage with the young people across Chia. Okay. Prague is starting in the second year of advisory program to engage with young people across Chechnya. Okay. Ambassador would like to hear their voices and to help develop leaders and role models, participating with formed uh, diverse group of 10 that will work directly with the UK's ambassador throughout regulatory monthly online meetings over a 10 months period. Okay, so perhaps some of these initiatives when it comes to opinion leaders, influencers, all these kind of great things, right? And that would be if you yourself you are based in Prague, there might be some opportunities there, which potentially may or may not lead into your other projects, right? This is not a paid position. Oh, okay. But all participants will receive personal letter of recommendation. Great. So perhaps there is a lot of developments. I haven't read this information. We may have read that previously, but similar initiatives are all the time being developed when it comes to ambassadors and all. There might be depending on what sector we're going to be taking a look at. Anyway, let's progress. Let's touch on the last article. That's right, I understand that the UK government boosts support for Scottish demining charities' work in Ukraine and Afghanistan. Disclosing this video with some of the important developments and some of the great people. It might be a charity or the company who is doing this work, and there might be a need for continuous support when it comes to hardware or software development, in particular when it comes to demining. So since there's a lot of land that currently nobody could use this land, since it's contaminated with a lot of mines, active mines, and a lot of people may or may not be injured. Historically speaking, this is normally what would happen, right? So hopefully some of those initiatives would succeed, right? International development ministers visit Hollow Trust. Okay, there's the name of this company. I don't mind promoting this company. With the UK's government extending its funding to continue removing mines in Ukraine and Afghanistan. We can touch on some of the important parts, but overall, there should be more and more initiatives that are supporting some of those governments, right? That the UK's government is expected to contract for Hollow Trust to continue work ridding Ukraine and Afghanistan of deadly explosives. Come as international development minister. Okay, there's a name. Visits the Hollow Trust, the headquarters in Scotland. Minister experienced demining training and all meets Hollow equipment suppliers to discuss how UK aid also supporting the local economy and all helping create jobs in the UK as a part of the UK's government's plan for change. Okay. We briefly gonna touch on some of the finances that will be important, but overall there might be a need. And there are a lot of professionals who are constantly maybe looking for volunteers, but it's a very critical subject, but not necessarily that many people are unless they have proper training and overseen by professionals might be interested in engaging with some of the partners. But anyway, vital work to be clear deadly explosives in Ukraine and Afghanistan will be expected as the Scottish demining charity. The Hollow Trust is set to receive new UK's government's funding to support life-saving work. A total of more than 7 million will be provided, which will enable Hollow to continue its work, release productive land for agriculture in Ukraine. This part will be very important when it comes to financial sustainability and continuous work. Contributing to Ukraine and global food security and all keeping communities safe in Afghanistan, funding will help restore basic services and support safe return of refugees. Okay. Let's close on that. There might be ways of engaging with this organization. I can't see contact information. There might be ways for people who might be interested in volunteering to support some of these initiatives, right? Let's close on that. Thanks for watching. See you next one.